All right. Good evening. We are sitting here for the February 18th meeting of the Athens Shade Tree Commission. We will get us kicked off here with our quorum, and our 3 of 5 we're still hanging in there. So we are all present. Disposition of the minutes. Did everybody see the minutes? Any questions, laments about missing Michael for it? Can we get a motion to accept them? Motion, second.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. All right. Not a lot to cover tonight. One of the main kind of breaking news things that we have is that over the last, I think it was last week, 2 weeks ago, Joanna alerted us that the trees that we planted along the bike path outside of the outdoor gym are leaning pretty bad.
Specifically along the actual path, like, not the fire station side, but running along, I don't even know what direction that would be. But, yeah, they're all leaning. I mean, it's a super swamp, but majority.
Yeah.
The other ones look great. Just that section.
Yeah, it's we knew it was kind of a tough spot going in, very windy. When I went to go look at it after that, it's retaining a lot of water, so I imagine they're kind of sloshing around in the hole a little bit. So growing season has not quite started yet. I think we might still have time to get them righted and staked up. So I think I would like to, I don't know, I mean, do you think people would show up if we made that an event? Or should we?
Staking?
Yeah.
I feel like with just a couple of us, it would be fine because it's only like, I took that picture of maybe 5 to 6 to 7 trees. Mm-hmm. Because it's not all of them. But yeah. I'm sure we can get a group together.
Yeah, I don't think it would take very long. I think the Parks probably has stakes that we could use. So we could probably do it ourselves. But
yeah, I'm happy to do it whenever y'all are available.
Okay.
I've also got tools to help.
Okay. We can plan that off the air then and get like a Saturday or something going. But thought that I would bring that to attention. Hopefully we can get those righted and they will look beautiful and pristine for our first growing season with them. Next up, we have new business. It's new business and it's old business. We are still hoping to hear some news here on the appointment of Jonathan Hoopman. Great applicant here to fill up one of our 4 vacant positions. So we're hoping to see the mayor or somebody from the admin tonight. Doesn't seem like anybody made it. So last I heard, he had seen it and was unsure about appointing. I will, make a point that obviously, 1, we need people. 2, the public hasn't seen Jonathan's resume, but it is 10 pages long and full of, basically wildlife and forestry work. I think he's a real no-brainer. His knowledge is not something up for question here. He's committed, interested, wants to be on. So really all we're waiting on is admin approval for
his last name. How do you spell it?
Hootman, like an owl.
H-O-O-T.
Yes.
Would it be all right if I maybe reach out to the mayor and see if I can provide any support where I can to kind of expedite this and get it moving along?
Yes.
Would that be all right?
Yeah, any help would be appreciated. I've talked to Monica a couple times about it. Like I said, the last I heard is that he had seen it. She had brought it up with him, and he had reservations about appointing him, or was unsure about appointing him. Last meeting he kind of brought up he would like to see a business owner or something on council or on commission here. There are 2 open seats of voting members, so I don't think that really interferes with anything that would make us a little more robust here. Instead of having to scrape by on quorum every time. So.
Well, and there's 4 positions, so even if the mayor has some great ideas and candidates too, there's wiggle room.
Exactly.
So I'll talk with him and reach out and see what can be done. Did you send me his resume by?
I think so. I think that would have been right after last commission meeting.
All right. If not, I'll hit you up for it.
And then, again, little appeal, if you are interested in applying or being a part of the Shade Tree Commission, basically send in an application CCing Monica Flowers, who is kind of the mayor's executive assistant, Debbie Walker, who is the clerk of courts, and I think that's it.
That's it.
So those 2 people, you can get both of their information on the city website. Send in a resume, up-to-date resume, and kind of a letter of interest. Just, I'm interested in our urban canopy or being on Shade Tree Commission. And hopefully we can get some spots filled up. So, back where we started with that one. On to old business here. One thing I wanted to cover is some work that we did last year with our Bio Blitz, kind of spearheaded by Eva. So kind of our findings and the work that we kind of initially did that for have kind of come to fruition a little bit. So Eva, do you want to talk about what you put together for us?
Yes. Also, sorry that it's taken me this long. The fall was definitely very busy. Also, probably for you guys too, with tree plantings and everything. But I've been able to sort of get caught up on some things. So I've been going through the iNaturalist project page that we had for the BioBlitz and cleaning things up, identifying things where people just like uploaded photos and stuff. So I looked through that, and then Tristan's going to look through it again so we can have just more eyes on it to make sure that, everything's correct. And then once we get that done, I can put that into the ArcGIS map that I have currently. I have one in ArcPro where I was doing some of like the preliminary like analyses and things to filter things out, but now I have a web map that I've made. It's private. Because that's one of the things that I wanted to note, that the iNaturalist data, it's like data privacy, it's for non-commercial use only. So we have to be very careful about how we share it, like with each other and with the city, because eventually when this information does get to the city, we have to make sure that it's only being used for like, Shade Tree Commission purposes and to assess the quality of the canopy and not for any like commercial decisions related to like development or anything. And also with that, it can't be publicly available. So with that in mind, I am close with both the urban planning intern and the intern for engineering and public works. And they all had a meeting with the urban planner and the mayor talking about what we've been doing, and it seems like they're really interested in it, and apparently they're going to make us a right-of-way map, like an official one. So I don't know when that's going to happen, but for the time being, I sort of made like an estimated right-of-way layer that I used to sort of filter out some of the iNaturalist observations from like the general query that I did, not from the BioBlitz. And I think I did like a 60-foot estimate, but then also like a 5-foot buffer, because obviously the geolocation with iNaturalist can be a little iffy. Let's see what else. And yeah, the urban planner is like particularly interested in the map. So I'm sure that once we get things polished up more, she'll be willing to play a more active role in that. But I can show you guys what I have maybe like after this meeting so you can see it on my computer. But I'm still in the process of cleaning things up, but this will be nice because we can do a lot of different like analyses on it. We can pull out different things if we want to highlight like certain species, if we want to group things up by like certain families and everything. Get an idea of like canopy diversity. Also like ArcGIS Online, you can do like a heat map option for symbology, so that's really good to see, you know, where things are concentrated. So yeah. And we were talking about maybe planning something for this spring. So
Yes.
yeah, we'll see.
So
I'm willing for that.
that's our next step here is,
Yeah.
you know, with the data that we have kind of pulled out, you know, it gives us a little bit, you know, you can look at it and kind of get a feel of, you know, I guess either there aren't trees there or there aren't observations that we can pull from there.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of spots on, let me see here. I guess this would be like the university, so maybe that's not a good spot. But we can kind of look at this and get a little bit of a feel of where we would want some additional data points and maybe
Yeah.
plan another BioBlitz. You know, like the far east side is pretty weak on data points, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, you know, we have all the stuff from last year, so I think we can throw it together pretty well. You know, ideally something before the students leave again, you know, like
Right.
early, mid-spring or whatever.
Yeah.
So we can kind of work on that after this meeting. I'll kind of take charge of that and reach out and then get it on the website, put it up on whatever the Give Pulse, so we have the little flyers so we don't have to physically have them, which I think I still have a lot of those hanging around in my office. So hopefully we can streamline that a little bit,
Yeah.
get some students engaged, and kind of hike around the city and look at trees.
Yeah, and I think that since we've already done it, there are a lot of things that we know to do differently now. Also along the lines of like the data privacy. When we do get the layer from the BioBlitz that we previously did into the map, I'll probably sort of send out something to everyone that participated in that one just to get permission to use it. So maybe we can use it in more ways than just like non-commercial, because if you get like consent from people, then you are able to use it more. So if we were to do another BioBlitz, probably something in the sign up or some like written statement, like by doing this, you agree that, you know, the observations and the data that you collect will be used. So, yeah.
Definitely. So exciting stuff. That's something that we can get planned, I think,
Yeah.
pretty quickly, and just kind of, you just walk around with people with your phones. So not a lot to throw together aside from, you know, the stuff on Give Pulse and maybe making up a little waiver. So some exciting stuff for the spring there. Otherwise, I've got our two subcommittees, the two big. So I think we had like four kind of put together. I think they kind of boil down to these two things. So one is we have the grant subcommittee. So Gene, do you have any updates on that?
Yeah, so from what I've gathered and the people I've talked to in the kind of nonprofit world regionally, a lot of grant cycles are closed right now. People aren't really giving out much money. Things are pretty tight all around. So people are interested. I've talked specifically with the Athens County Foundation, and they want us to send over our application that we put together, as well as the grant itself from ODNR, just so they have the information. So they gave me their main point person on grant writing, their email. So I'm going to be sending over that information to them. So if they do come into some money and there is another grant cycle, then we have our foot in the door. They know that we're interested. So
Sweet.
that's all I've got on that front.
Yep, definitely figured things would be a little tight. I didn't expect any miracles.
Yeah.
So, but, keeping our ear to the ground, that's what it's all about. The other one was this overhaul of the tree list. I have not touched it, so we'll get there. Ideally something before we get into planting season here again. So, that's all I've got on the agenda. Anything else from anybody?
Yeah, so I approached one person that's involved in the Athens, Ohio soccer organization that's in our community, and we have our new fields out on the west side. And I mentioned the potential of putting some trees in, and the person's excited. I do have the next board meeting for AOSO is next week. So I just wanted to let you all know what I was up to, and that I'm going to talk to the rest of the board and see if they're interested. And I'll try to come back by next month, or maybe in between, reach out to y'all to maybe hash out some more details about how to approach at least assessing the space and where we could plant, possibly some trees to shade all those hot soccer players in the summer months. They have talked about it here and there about how to create a space that there's more shade availability in between games, and for folks that come and watch, and support the players, have a space to sit and keep cool. So, yeah. So I just wanted to let you all know that there is some interest, and I'll report back.
Nice. Are the soccer fields, is that university land?
Yeah, but I think, yes, it is. But this is where I may not be as thorough, but I can find out. There is a contract with the organizations, the soccer organization, and I know the city hasn't put some investments in, like, for example, the netting and posts that were required for the fields to exist. So it's a mix. And that's where, I'm sorry, I don't know those details. I feel like I should, but I'll find out. But yes, the space for the fields is run and has a contract for, I think, 20 to 25 years to have those fields there. So they control a lot of the space. However, there are some, I'm sure there's some, at some extent, we need to talk to somebody else. Maybe OU needs to get involved. Those things I will ask at the board meeting so that I'm a little bit more thorough when I talk to you all about those details. If there's some hoops we have to jump, or can we just go plant? But then it also would depend on what you all would see that would be realistic of placing trees near the field. So I imagine that as this progresses, at least the board president would maybe come out, and maybe a few others from the board or other players, and meet up with us in the Shade Tree Commission to just sort of talk things through and maybe come up with a plan. So,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if, since that's like a shared-ish space, about in these 20 years, if we go through with this, even next year, who will continue the tree maintenance? Like, is that OU's job, or will that turn into the city's? Because that's such a fine line. I think a lot of stuff should be worked out too.
I'm not certain on that. So
Yeah.
that's a great question, and I'll dig a little deeper to be a little bit more knowledgeable about who does what, who controls what, and makes decisions. So, yeah.
Thanks.
So, yeah, definitely. I'll ask about that.
Yeah, and that's definitely all stuff that comes up in the, the interest in talking is kind of the first step. So figuring that stuff out will be fun. I don't think it's any, as long as the university or whoever owns the land is fine with it, planting the trees is the easy part. So it's
Right.
It's all the permissions that come
Yeah,
before. So
absolutely. Yeah, definitely the process. I kind of, there's the road that goes in. This isn't just me, but there's shipping crate that the soccer organization secured, and it exists out there, and that's where they store like all the equipment and things for the community soccer. I imagine like in that space there near the road, that's where a lot of people congregate and watch games. On that side of the field, there aren't a lot of folks that sit on the net side. So that's where it's the busiest and more concentrated, where people show up. So I kind of imagine like some trees along there, but that's just my imagination.
Well, and if it's university property too, maybe we could get some fruit trees or larger, crop trees in whatever way, and see if the university is interested in having the farm work on them. I think this last fall they were harvesting basically all the butter. I was trying to steal some of the butternuts from those butternuts that are in front of the farm, and they harvested them up pretty well. So I think they're trying to expand out on, working with agroforestry and stuff like that. So I'd be right up their alley anyway. So it could be something exciting.
Yeah, I kind of like the different worlds coming together and maybe coming up with a nice little space that people can use. I know a lot of the soccer players run over to the research gardens to get space and shade, because it gets hot out there.
Yes.
It's really hot in the summer months. So, it would be nice to not have to go so far from the fields to find some shade.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be exciting. So hopefully looking forward to hearing more on that and maybe talking with them. And I do, fingers crossed, doing a little site visit and seeing what we can plant in.
Yeah, I'll figure out with the city OU dynamic, and I know the board will be very happy. I'm almost 100% on that. They're going to be really thrilled about this, and working with the Shade Tree Commission. So, but I'll find out that detail and see how I can set us up, okay?
Perfect. Anything else? We might make record time here, guys. All right. Let's do a motion to adjourn then.
Motion.
Motion. Second. All in favor? Aye. All right.